Well, good afternoon and welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. Today we're going to make an ice cream scoop. This one is out of a block of wood that piece of walnut, and I cut it and glued in a piece of maple, different things. I forget what they call that. But I thought that would be kind of an interesting piece to do. So let's get started on that. But first of all, welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. Please feel free to share, subscribe, like. My name is Paul Courtwright, and let's see what we can do today. Let's get one started here. So I got my block here. I've already put the center mark on there on both ends. So I've already marked the center on it. So let's go over to the lathe and get started. Hang tight. All right, well, let's get started on this project. I got my pieces here. Obviously, I got to take my chuck off, because the first thing I got to do is put a spigot on it and make it round. So we're going to do that. Take my chuck off, put my drive in, and we'll get started here. This out of the way. I've already got my center mark on there, so I'm just going to line it up with the X, run this up there, and we're going to start out between centers. All right. So we're going to first make this round and put a spigot on this end to grab a hold of it. So I'll do that. Let me get my PPE on here. Got my face shield. Let's get that on. And let's get started. We'll get her rounded up and go from there. So I'm going to use my skew. Give me a chance. I'm going to go sharpen this because I haven't sharpened it in a little bit. So hang tight. Let me sharpen it. Alrighty, here we go. Let's got my skew sharpened up. What we're going to do is just basically make it round and put a spigot on the end of it here. So let's get started and see what we can do. Make sure everything's tight. And I need to put my tool rest up just a little higher. There we are. Whoops. That's okay. It's pretty close to being round here. Got a couple spots in there, but we'll worry about that in a minute. I want to put a spigot on the end of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin it around and put it in the chuck, and then we'll finish rounding it out. So let me knock that out, get my chuck on here. And we'll get started. Alrighty, now I've been working on trying to build up an inventory for craft shows for the summer. And I knew I was running a little bit low on the ice cream scoops. So I thought, why not? I haven't done a video on ice cream scoops in a while, so I thought, and this one was a blank I glued up, and I thought this would be a kind of a fun project to do. And basically, if you got a short piece of wood and you want to make it longer, you cut it in diagonal and glue a piece in between, and it'll make it longer. That's kind of in a sense what I did here, but I'm more after that design. Celtic knot, that's what it is. I knew I'd think of it eventually. It's called a Celtic knot. So make sure everything's going good. Yep, we're in good shape. So here we go. I'm just going to make it round, and then we'll drill our hole for our ice cream scoop. Fairly round. Got some flat spots there I need to deal with, but that's all right. Let's see what we can do. And go from there. Hang tight. All right. Sorry about that. Just a technical glitch. All right, so we got it basically round. Let's get the drill chuck out and let's drill our hole. Get that taken care of, and then we'll show you what we got to put the ferrule on. And this is just my version of it, the way I do them. Not the only way. So 3/8 bit in there. And explain that a little bit. So I got this, the metal part here. So this is 1.5 inches here. So I want to go about 1 3/4 inches, gives me a little bit of room for glue. And then this has got to go over top of it. So let's make sure everything's centered. All right, I'm going to check it, tighten, make sure it's tight. There we are. All right. And I always bring my quill out to 1 inch, and then I can figure out how deep I'm going with it. So let's go. I'm going to drill roughly about 200 to 300 RPMs. I'm at 267. So starting at 1 inch, and I want to go down about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch stop, back it back out, let my bit clean out, go down another 1/2 inch, another 1/2 inch, and that's 1 inch, clean my bit out, we'll go down some more, and here we go. There's 1/4. I'm gonna go 3/8 because I got to go another 3/8 of an inch after that. The further down you go, more you're going to have to clean your bit out. And we'll go some more. And 1/2 inch. And there's 3/4. So I'm down 1 3/4 inches, which is as far as I want to go. All right, we'll get that out of the way. Get our drill chuck taken off. And I'm going to put my cone back on. This will help stabilize my the blank as I'm turning it. So I'm going to put this back on. And that cone will fit right in that hole. This will stabilize it. All right. So then, well, I guess I should show you this. Okay, so here's my top of my thing. That goes in there like so. And if you notice, it's got a little flange here or a little recess there. This has got to fit on top of that. So it'll fit like that. So I'm going to cut the outside of that to fit this. So I got to that down to there. So I got a set of calipers here that measure the inside of that. So got them set. And basically I want to turn that down to that size. Now face shield on. Make sure everything's tight. All right, I'm going to turn this down to there. Put this a little bit high. So now I want to match this up to there. So I'm going to do the outer edge. Fits that. And I'll stop it and measure that just to make sure that it fits before I go the rest of it. Not quite there. So I'm going to go just a hair more. Measure that again. Pretty close. It's on there, but it's not quite back far enough. All right. Yeah. You want that piece to fit, the ferrule to fit as snug as possible. Just like that. So if looks like I got my depth correct, and that'll go in there like so. That's what it'll look like right there. So we got that part done. We're in good shape. So now I'll put my tailstock back up in place. Make sure it's tight. Now we want to start doing our shape and design we want on this. So I want to take this part down to that edge there. So I turn this down to close to that. In fact, so I know I don't go too much, what I'm going to do, put the ferrule back on, and I'm going to draw a circle here around this outer edge. So I know I don't want to go down too past that too much. So I got my circle on there and know exactly where I want to go. And all right. So now we want to turn this down. So I'm thinking I want to like a little piece of bead up on top here. So I'm going to turn this part down fairly small to get to that point. So let's do that. Here we go. Like that. I'm going to switch over to my spindle gouge to get me a bead right there. Yeah. All right. I'm going to round the edge of that off. So, about right there. Hang tight. I'm going to get you around so you get a better look at what I'm doing. So hang tight. And give you a better idea of what I'm doing. Kind of a better close-up to it so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to turn this around and put a little bead right there. Okay. Now I'm going to switch back to my skew and taper this down to that point. That looks pretty good. No tear out, no nothing. We're in good shape. So, all right. I'm going to make this a little thicker down here, but I'm going to taper that in. You can see I got these little voids here. We need to get rid of all that. So I'm going to start tapering it. pretty good. I'm going to clean that up just a hair. All right, so the top of it's pretty well where I want it. I think that looks good. Now we're going to focus on here, and if you see, I got it cleaned up pretty good there. So I'll move my tailstock, my tool rest down. All right, and I'm going to clean this all up, get her rounded, and all I want to do is make it round on any before I shape the end of this. Let's see if I got everything out. Oh yeah, looks good. Actually, kind of way that looks, it's got some meat to it. I might just leave it like that. I don't know. I think I will. Good clean lines. Yeah, I like the way it looks. So I need to do this other end, but I want to put it in the chuck to do that. So let's get her switched around and put her back in the lathe on the other way, and we'll be right back. Hang tight. Alrighty, let's clean off the end. There you are. Lost my little fuzzy thing. All right. Anyway, lost my little fuzzy thing on my mic here. So what I want to do is clean that off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this round, and then I'm going to take my skew and round that edge over right there. I got everything tight. It's in my chuck. Here we go. Here we go. So the reason I turned it around is so I can do the end of it here. Okay. So now I got this. Okay. I'm going to drop my tool rest down. Got my skew, or my spindle gouge. I'm going to clean that up. So, and I just start put a decorative thing on the end here. Got my little gouge. Let's put a and I'm going to taper that a little bit down further on that edge, and we'll do some sanding. So here we go. There. I think it looks pretty good. And as you can see, with a skew, I can get a real clean cut. I don't see any tear out whatsoever in there. So I really wouldn't have to start at 120. Always like to, for some reason. 120 is my kind of my favorite starting point. So that being said, let me find a piece of 120, and I don't have one, so I have to get one out. All right, so let me grab a piece of 120 and I'll be right back. All right, so here we are. I got me some 120 sandpaper. This is sandpaper from Vince's Woodwonders. I like the way their sandpaper is. I'm going to run it in reverse. And I'm running about 300 RPMs. And I'm just going to lightly sand it with this 120. Don't have to do too much because it's with the skew, I can get a pretty good finish on it. Lightly sand it with 120. Okay, and once I get done with that, then I always kind of try to go with the grain. Takes any scratches that I put in, circular scratches in it, out. All right, that's my 120. So now I got 150. Do the same thing. I get in these realms or these moods where I do a lot of one thing, you know, half a dozen of one item. Like a couple weeks ago, it was pizza cutters and, you know, my F-bombs. And today it just happens to be ice cream scoops. And a lot of it is I just get in them moods and enjoy doing them. And plus it builds my inventory for my crafts shows. So I get a wide variety of shapes, sizes, you know, try different things, you know. So I never do the same thing twice, it seems like. All right. All right, so I'll keep going on that all the way up to 220, and then I'll be back because you don't want to sit there and watch me sand. So hang tight. All right, so I got it sanded, but what I want to do is I want to raise the grain just a little bit, so that way when I put a finish on it and get a smooth finish, it's pleasing to the hand, if you want to call it that. So I just take and wipe it down with some water. Get it good and kind of, not really wet, but it cleans it up real good. Also gives you an idea of what you're looking at when you finish it. How that grain comes out. Wipe it down real good. And I take my rag and just kind of, and this will smooth out any water that's in it. Because if I just go straight to sandpaper, it just creates a slurry and like that. Let it dry for a second. And then we got some 220 sandpaper here. I'll start with some 180. And I'm just going to lightly sand it with 180. And that will take and all the little grain that's off of it off. And with the grain again. And then I take and as you go up in grains, Vince from Vince's Woodwonders had said when you go up the grain, you slow your machine down a little bit, slow the lathe down. So by the time you get to 220, like right now I'm running about 100 RPMs, and you're running slower, and prevents the paper from heating up for one, but it also helps any scratches or anything like that. And I think 90% of it is, it just keeps it from the paper from heating up. And if you heat the paper up, it doesn't do any good. It just glosses over then at that point. Okay, so that's where that's at. Now, we're going to put a coat of finish on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe it down with some alcohol. And this is not your drinking alcohol. This is just denatured alcohol. And this will take any dirt that's in it out. And it also dries faster. And I'll probably put 2 coats of finish on this. But I'm going to do it right here and show you what it looks like when I finish it. Kind of clean off all the, as you can see, it cleans off all that dirt and grime. All right, takes care of that. And remember, when you throw your rags out, do not throw them right directly in the trash. Let them dry. And I got here is some polyurethane. I'm going to take and put a little bit of that on it and show you what it looks like. So I'll get my gloves out. This is a water-based poly. So get me a pair of gloves here. And a rag. And let's see what we got. Okay. I'm going to give it a quick stir. All right. Got my rag here. And this is thick polyurethane. For some reason I got, this is Valspray. It's not one of my favorites. I'm a big proponent of Minwax. So I just take this and I'll smear it on there. Kind of get everything covered. Just rub it in real good. All right. Rub that in and then just kind of wipe off all the excess. It looks pretty good. I'll put like 3-4 coats of poly on this to give it a real good shine and protect it real good. This will give you an idea of what it looks like. There. I'm just going to turn it on and let it dry. Run this across one time here. There. Let that dry. And we'll go from there. All right, we'll let that dry and I'll be right back in a second. Okay, so it's dry enough I can take it off and we'll just mock put it together and show you what it looks like. So, and I'll go through and like I said, I'll put another coat of polyurethane on it. So let me get you around here where you can see what I'm doing. Hang tight. All right, so here we are. I'm not going to glue this in because I want to put a couple more coats of finish on it. It's easier to do it without it. But in a sense, that's what it's going to look like. And I think it looks pretty good. It's got a good handle on it, and you'll be able to scoop some good ice cream out of that with that. I think it's a good looking ice cream scoop. Fancy. You know, I think it looks really good. I'll put 3 more coats of polyurethane on it. And then basically what I'll do is I'll use 2-part epoxy, mix it up, put it down in the hole, and put a little bit on the outer edge of this. I'll glue that piece on, and then I'll shove this down there and turn it a little bit and get the epoxy in them threads. And then it should be nice and secure and it won't come apart. And I think it'll look out pretty good. So feel free to come and one of my craft shows and look for this piece. So If you buy this one, you can always say, hey, I got that one that's on YouTube. So there it is. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know some comments down below. And please feel free to share, subscribe to my channel. Let's get this channel to grow and spread the word. And let me know if you have any interesting projects you'd like me to try. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.